Without purpose and passion, we have no will to act. Without the health of body, environment, and relationships, we lack the ability to act. So without either one, we can never have a business we care about or that will ever reach its potential. So today we're talking about health in its simplest form. A couple weeks ago, our episode discussed a quote by Winston Churchill about using small words and old words to communicate. We talked about how important this was, as well as when to ignore it. But the central message was about keeping things simple to understand when you're trying to convey something to someone else. In so many ways, this is getting more and more important in the health space as experts continually make the health message more and more complex. In this episode, we'll talk about how valuable it can be to keep it simple when seeking better health. And then, of course, when to go beyond. This is the Heart Body Business Podcast. Inspiration, tips, and tools for entrepreneurs seeking a more fulfilling type of success. One that stems from exploring and expressing their true passion and purpose and finding healthy ways to do so. All coupled with insights and action items to get a business moving in the right direction. I'm Steve, your host, and I invite you to learn more at heartbodybusiness.com. We're covering the topic of health today because it's part of our threefold message. With Heart Body Business, body refers to the health of our body and extends out to our environment and relationships. These all have a huge impact on the quality of our lives, and the more these are in order, the better impact our health has on our business and on the joy we have in running our business. But in the pursuit of health, it's really easy these days to get caught up in the complexity of all the expert messaging. Coffee's good for you. Coffee's bad for you. Soy is good for you. Soy is bad for you. You should avoid all carbohydrates. You should have a balance of healthy carbs with your fats and proteins. And on and on. Basically, what one expert tells you, the next contradicts. What one study tells you, the next contradicts. It's not that health experts are trying to mislead you, or at least we hope not. In many cases, it's that, like any of us, they have a partial grasp on the entire truth. They're seeing things from their experience. Perhaps they formed a particular opinion based on their own recovery or that of someone they loved. Maybe they found a special way to address things, so they started treating everyone this way, and maybe they had a bunch of successes. But we'll have to note that unless they have 100% success with people getting well, then their solution isn't for all people all of the time, which is almost certainly true no matter how good a solution is, because healing has so much to do with the person who needs to heal. Health has so many components. Are you getting the right nutrients when you eat? Are you consuming toxins? Are you exposed to the right environmental factors like sunshine and fresh air? Are you getting in movement and exercise? Are you exposed to toxins in your environment? What kind of emotional support do you have from family and friends? And what stresses are you dealing with? And how are you processing them? What about past emotional events that weren't fully processed, shocks and traumas, for instance? How are your relationships? Are there factors in your relationships that give you a subconscious reason for being ill? Or are you holding on to a condition for any other reason? So the fact is, a lot of things go into how healthy we are, and it can be complex to untangle this and achieve recovery. But what a lot of people miss is that there are simple things you can do in most cases to make a lot of progress with your health. And if you started incorporating them one at a time, especially with the help of a habit app or even a coach to hold you accountable, most of the time you'll see a marked difference in how you look and feel in a relatively short time. My personal view is that if you can eliminate one small thing that isn't good for you and add one small thing that is good for you, choosing the things that are easiest for you to accomplish, easiest for you to stick with and have success, and if you made these small adjustments once a month, after 1 year, you'll often feel like you're living a truly different life, a better life, one where you feel stronger and more energized. And the thing is, most of us know what these habits involve. Like when it comes to food, we can have all these debates about healthy and unhealthy things to eat, but for most of us, there are obvious steps to take before we need to worry about those details. First things first, just stop eating artificial food, colors and sweeteners and flavors, and don't rely on the words all natural on a package. This literally means nothing. It's marketing. Start reading labels and get a feel for the ingredients you're consuming. If you don't know what it is, that's usually not a great sign. The less processed, the better. When you're able to move toward options like organic food, this is great too. But if you haven't already eliminated, obviously, artificial food, you might not be ready for that step. Again, take a step that's easy and that you can stick with. Get yourself a win. Another example. We know we should move more than most of us do, but it's so easy to ignore this step if you don't understand just how profound it is. If you look at the research, it's ridiculous how much just walking 20 to 30 minutes a day does for your health. I do this every day, and if the weather doesn't allow it, I walk indoors. On the advice of my brother, I've even started doing the farmer's walk indoors, carrying a dumbbell around in each hand. Emotional cleansing is another thing we can do. There are programs that can help with deep emotional work, but there are easy things you can do every day, like bringing yourself genuinely into the moment, releasing all the stresses that try remaining with you all the time, even when they are not, in fact, a present issue. Gratitude exercises, forgiveness exercises. A little time with these each day brings more energy into the moment, more energy needed by the body for healing, and it cleans you emotionally. These are simple things to do, and maybe that's the problem. There's a story from the Old Testament where this military commander has leprosy, and he asks the prophet Elisha for a solution. Elisha tells him to wash in the Jordan River 7 times, and he'll be cured of leprosy. Now, this is incredible, of course. There wasn't meant to be a cure for leprosy, and here was such an easy solution. But the commander, he's indignant. This is beneath him, washing in the Jordan River. Why didn't Elisha wave his hands and make a big scene, or tell him to wash in the far better rivers of the commander's home country? So at first, he walks away. He dismisses a very simple solution to a very serious problem. Luckily, good sense got the better of him. He returned and washed, and his leprosy was cured. But I think about this often when I see all the easy things we can do to make our lives better and healthier, including both our bodies and our relationships. When we think that being healthy must be complex, must remain in the hands of doctors who we give our power away to, we fail to see and do the things that are easy. It can't be easy, so there's no point in doing the easy things. And the complex things are so complex, we don't know where to begin. So, paralysis by analysis. Now, maybe this doesn't relate to you, which is awesome. Maybe you're already taking regular steps toward healthier options in your life, and I encourage you to keep it up. Remember, this isn't just about food and supplements and exercise and sleep. It's about the air we breathe, the water we drink, the soap and shampoo and toothpaste we use. It's about our interactions with those around us and the stress we feel from work. It's all of these things together and more. So there's always something we can be improving on. But if you're not regularly making progress on these things, I encourage you to begin. If you don't believe me that walking every day makes a substantial difference in all-cause mortality, and same with other forms of exercise and our sleep habits and more, you can always start with just learning more about it. Do some research online. Discover just how powerful the simple things can be. And then, as I said, find something that's easy to implement this month. Some habit to build and some habit to break. Something you have a real chance of sticking with. And consider using a habit app on your phone or computer to track your results. You need some sort of outside motivation. In fact, motivation comes in two forms, the stick and the carrot. If you want to reward yourself for achieving certain goals, do so, but consider making it a reward that's all around good for you. So many people want to reward themselves with something unhealthy, which isn't the point. If you're taking easy steps, you won't feel the need to do something inherently unhealthy as a reward. That feeling usually comes from really denying ourselves, from taking steps that are too difficult. Meanwhile, I also encourage a stick approach. Normally, this is considered a punishment, but I like to use a win-win approach to this. For instance, I pay into a pool of money each month based on any goals I've missed, and I use this to do things for my newsletter or Twitter followers, send a gift, or offer a service, for instance. Consider doing something like this. If you find value from this podcast, you can support it with donations, but you can also find some other venture you believe in, perhaps a nonprofit. Just make sure it represents a gift beyond what you would already be giving, as you need to feel it if you miss a goal. When you care enough to do what's easy, when you care enough about your overall health and your ability to do things in the world, including building a successful business, then when the simple things aren't enough, if ever you're facing something more challenging in your health, you're more likely to care enough to invest in deeper solutions, in seeing professionals. Sometimes you'll find the right solutions quickly, but sometimes this is a journey. But when you've already been on a journey, when you've already learned that getting a little better, both inside and out, and even in your business, is an ongoing process, you won't be surprised when deeper healing also involves searching and doing. And hopefully, you won't give away your power, hoping that someone outside yourself will cause you to heal with something magical. Your body is the great healer, and those who help your journey are there to provide tools to point you toward options, but genuine healing comes from within. When you're taking those simple steps day to day, week to week, and year to year, that genuine healing is a way of life. It's a knowing that you want to be whole in your body, environment, and relationships, because this is what allows you to build the business and to build the life that you're truly here to build. Till next time, thanks for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe. You can also join our mailing list to get alerts on our latest episodes and other tips, tools, and news. Learn more and sign up at heartbodybusiness.com.